Formula One is never short of creating buzz, and many times during the racing season, that buzz is caused by some kind of controversy. The 2022 campaign was no exception, so here are the top 3 controversies of 2022. Before we go any further, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. Thanks for doing that, now let's get started. At the halfway point of the 2022 Formula One season, a subject that would significantly impact the sport began to come to light. Fernando Alonso announced just a few days into the summer break that he would be leaving the Alpine F1 team and joining Aston Martin in place of the retiring Sebastian Vettel. Everyone in the F1 community was taken aback when the announcement was made. Even Ottmar Schaffnauer, Alpine's team principal, was caught off guard. This unanticipated decision started a chain reaction, eventually leading to Alpine declaring that they would put their junior driver Oscar Piastri into its race seat for the upcoming season. Although the move sounds like a dream come true for Piastri, he countered the Alpine announcement by stating that he would not drive for Alpine in 2023. As it turned out, Piastri had previously signed a deal to drive for McLaren for the 2023 season, which led to a legal disagreement questioning the legality of the rival contracts. Eventually, an arbitration panel ruled that Piastri could sign with McLaren, and Alpine was forced to release him to the British team. It was a devastating revelation of how disorganized Alpine was when it came to developing a driver from the junior division so that they could successfully compete in F1. It also showcased its inability to manage contracts, as the French team lost both a 2-time F1 champion in Alonso and a potential future F1 champion in Piastri in a matter of a couple of weeks. The concept of using ground effects to generate downforce in Formula One cars, which had not been utilized for several decades prior to the 2022 regulations, was brought back into use. These broad new regulations aim to close the gap between all the teams competing in the field and help create less dirty air to assist drivers in getting around other cars more easily. This, in turn, would create a better product on the track with closer battles, more overtakes, and an overall tighter championship. The unintended consequence of these ground effects and the new restrictions was the phenomenon known as porpoising. This is where the car bounces up and down at high speeds due to the downforce being created under the car, rather than with spoilers outside of the car. As a consequence of this, vertical G-pressures are generated as opposed to the more commonplace horizontal G-forces that the drivers experience. The porpoising had varying degrees of impact on the different teams, but it was particularly detrimental to the normally dominant behemoth Mercedes-Benz. The FIA issued a technical directive after the summer break before the Belgian Grand Prix in response to complaints from Mercedes drivers and the customer teams they represent, who claimed that porpoising threatened drivers' health and safety. The directive changed the way in which the FIA measured the floor plank and put an emphasis on the amount of porpoising allowable through a race weekend. If the porpoising fell outside the allowed amounts, the resultant infractions could end up in disqualification. In the end, it appeared as though the new regulation was effective. After the Belgian Grand Prix, there was a marked decrease in the amount of discussion around porpoising. As the year progressed, there were rumblings that 2 teams had breached the cost cap in the year prior. One of those teams was rumoured to be the 2021 Drivers' World Championship team, Red Bull Racing, with the other being Aston Martin. Regardless of the rumours, the FIA showed reluctance to reveal any information before the scheduled event. After weeks of speculation, it was finally revealed that Max Verstappen won his first World Drivers' Championship after the team exceeded the budget cap by nearly $2 million, which is equivalent to a 1.4% overage. There were a lot of people in the internet community and on rival F1 teams who wanted Red Bull to be severely punished. Some even advocated for the FIA to strip the team of its 2021 championship title, which was Red Bull's first since 2013. The resolution that was agreed to was a penalty that included a fine of $7 million and a reduction in aerodynamic testing by 10% for 2023. While this amount is substantial, considering the gap that Red Bull has on the field and the fact that FIA allowed them to accept the punishment, the slap on the wrist is alarming. Now over to you. What were your top 3 controversies of 2022? Let us know in the comment section below. That'll be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching Epic F1 News.